That's hilarious.
You know what? But like veterans, I feel bad for are well. I guess they're mostly dying, but like Korea, they don't get any attention. They're totally. I mean, everyone's overshadowed by World War II.
They got
then
mashed.
Vietnam overshadows it. It's overshadowed from both sides somehow. Like no one ever talks about Korea.
Well, Korea was a boring war, and it was a big failure on our parts, if you ask me. But they got their own TV show, right? They got MASH. That makes up for.
Is that what MASH is about?
Yeah, but Vietnam got like tons of.
No.
I wouldn't say credit, but Vietnam got movies upon TV shows.
Cultural event.
Were Vietnam vets treated poorly? That's what I wonder, right? Because it changed American culture. This idea that like soldiers were responsible for the things they did is gone now. Gone now. Absolutely. Hey, fog of war, your leader ordered you to do that, whatever. Every soldier is an absolute fucking hero. Never met a bad one that didn't walk on water and fucking have shiny shoes and walk grandmas across the street.
You better watch
everyone who's ever served in the U.S. Army or Navy or military or fucking Coast Guard, I don't give a fuck, are the best people. They're our finest. They're our greatest, etc. All because Vietnam vets were treated poorly when they came back. How long did that last? Was it like 18 months of, people not liking veterans, some people not liking veterans, and now we just like bend over backwards and thank them for when they're on the plane? Like it. How long did the
you got to find a middle ground sometimes, Woody?
How long did the soldier get like bad mouth? No, welcome to the show. Well, how long did soldiers get bad mouth?
Remember,
to really set the culture.
Remember Tom Cruise, Born on the 4th of July?
Yeah.
Like that was like a kind of anti-war, anti-soldier type of movie too. I mean, I don't know. How long did the whole burning hooches with civilians thing go on in mainstream media back then, right? So
is there another meaning of hooch that I'm not familiar with? But burning hooches, what's a hooch?
It's where the Vietnamese used to live in the little huts.
It's not just female genitals.
No. I mean, you could catch that when you're on.
Dude, I was literally like picturing like a still in like the 30s. I'm like, we're talking about like destroying an hooch at a still in Kentucky now.
I gotta remember.
No, I'm not. No.
I think your question is like, how long were the Vietnam veterans specifically sort of like maybe not spat on the street still, but like thought of poorly? Like how long was it before they felt comfortable how long did they start? How long after the war was it when they put on the hat to get congratulations, not to like make a fucking point?
The genesis
I did it.
This the Civil War lasted.
When could you proudly wear that hat?
4 years the Civil War was. Yet it's this like huge part of American culture, right? There are people across the South flying their fucking traitor flags and whatnot, going bonkers with this Civil War thing. And I'm like, dude, it was 4 years. Like
but it was the bloodiest 4 years in the history of the country, though.
Yeah, a lot of deaths.
Yeah, but
sure, but like it was still 4 years.
You're forgetting about the decades that it was flown for a different reason, for a different group of people as their flag, right?
It's like a racist.
I don't think of Confederate soldiers as the baddies. Like in their minds, do you think they were like, oh yeah, I got to make sure that rich man down the street still gets to keep his slaves? I don't think they were thinking like that.
It was Dixiecrat propaganda at its finest, keeping those guys fighting.
But there were different group of people like who were evil, who for a couple 3 or 4, 5 or 6 decades flew that flag and lynched people and murdered people. There's been I remember, maybe it was a short I watched, but it was some like deathbed confession of a lady who was like, yeah, I accused a black boy of touching me, and they lynched him and cut his dick off and burned his family's home down.
They're trying to go after Emmett Till's accuser, right? Because she's still alive.
I don't know.
Do you know who Emmett Till is?
No.
Yes, I know who
Emmett is this name? It's a guy.
Emmett Till is a 14-year-old kid who was walking down in the South somewhere, and he whistled as a white lady was passing by, and so she said, "Oh, he tried to do stuff to me." And so they, the local townsmen got together and they got this little boy, and did horrible things to his body.
We can't show a picture of Emmett Till.
No, you don't want to do that. But it was a horrific, horrific death. Until this day, like, she's still alive, and the guys who killed him got away with it.
I like that scene when his mother says she wants an open casket, and they're like, he is in no state for an open casket, and she's like,
And that was the point.
She's like, he's in the perfect state for an open.
Oh, did you watch the movie?
Of course.
Oh, I couldn't bring myself to watch it yet.
Kyle's seen every movie.
It's on my list.
I try.
Certain things is too hard to watch. Oh, you saw the picture, right?
Yeah, well, he's in the casket, and it's not a great picture. He's on
There's a picture before the casket that's even worse.
I didn't see that, but he's mutilated.
He was destroyed. He was destroyed in every.
That wasn't an isolated event. That was a regular thing that would happen.
That was a regular thing all the time.
Just on hearsay, you would be mutilated, murdered by a mob of people, and they would burn your family's house down. They might kill your family too. Anything that they wanted was going to happen. There was mob justice, and those people were flying that flag then. So I've learned later in life is why some people are not so fond of that flag. Because when I grew up, man, that meant like
the General Lee.
No. That meant blue collar. That meant blue collar. That meant like hardworking. That meant like our like country culture. That meant like sausage, biscuits, and gravy, and like fucking hay bales. Mm-hmm. It didn't mean like ropes and lynching and like hatred, to me anyway, or the people that I knew. There's always outliers, and there's always those people on the edge who like blend into your group and try and say they're one of you and make a bad name for you. I mean, look at Al Qaeda. What a
right? A few bad apples.
A couple bad apples jump in there and make them look bad.
Yeah, but you know what?
True.
And to speak from the other side of the spectrum, I guess you can say, like, as a kid growing up in the 70s, one of my favorite shows was Dukes of Hazzard. Love that show. Like, Will and Duke were my heroes, all right? And I had the toys, I had the Tonka trucks and everything.
Same.
I have a recent picture of me sitting on a General Lee mock-up. Like, I love that. And but you know, when I was educated and what I was behind and stuff like that, and it's a whole different thing. And it's like, and I like to compare it to the swastika, because the swastika wasn't a bad German thing for hundreds of years before Adolf adopted it.
It's a Hindu thing, I believe.
It was a Buddhist thing.
Thank you.
It could have been a Hindu.
They're all the same.
It was a Buddhist, Asian. So it was, you know, he
couldn't pick them apart in a lineup.
Yeah.
I can tell by the hats.
He changed the meaning of what that symbol represented, right? So the same thing happened with the Confederate flag. The meaning was changed because of the history behind it. So
that was our state flag when I grew up.
The swastika.
A lot of state flags.
Like the state
it's
flag.
My family crest.
I think there was like I'm trying to imagine what it used to be, but I think it was like a crest with, like, I don't know, some olive branches and pillars or something, and then just the fucking Confederate flag. Like it was, and I think that was our state flag, and it got changed maybe in the 93, 94, 95, like sometime in that era when, I don't know, all of Atlanta was becoming a little bit more blue, and now it's just a fucking purple state. Although I think we go red this election.
But you know what?
cycle.
It could have been easily solved if you guys stopped bad guys from using the flag. So if people in the South stopped, if you saw like the Klan marching or white supremacists or all that stuff, if you guys told them don't use that flag, it wouldn't have been an issue. But then it became the face of that hate. You know what I mean? If you protected it,
it's easy to blame. It's easy to blame like the guy who's got a bumper sticker, but I think there was like a big financial effort by a lot of rich racists to get all those monuments thrown up. You know, it's not like all those Civil War monuments were put up, you know, at the same time as the civil rights movement was going on. It was their counter. You know, like it was like, oh, you're gonna like invade our schools. Let me just remind you how things was before, and how things might just be again. You know, they will throw
Like-
fucking like Nathan Bedford Forrest up there, put him on his horse and make him look bronze and fancy, right?
Not in my sundown town. It's not going to happen.
So
you what.
like,
But,
it's a whole systemic thing. But
It
but
is.
um,
It is.